Jaylen, if you could, obviously that was a pretty chaotic final 20 seconds or so of regulation. Could you sort of walk me through what you were thinking during that timeout before the inbounds pass, and then obviously going through that play where you ended up hitting that game time shot?
One, it was just a good momentum play that we was able to turn them over and get an extra possession, and that led to a great draw. Jrue made a great pass. D. White set a good screen, and the rest was it. The rest was history.
Lost there at the end, and a lot of people in the arena thought so. What does it take for you guys to continue to believe, even with 10 seconds left and you need a three, to go out there and execute and make those plays to win?
I mean, welcome to the NBA playoffs. You just got to manage your emotions of the game. Anything can happen. The game is not over until the final whistle, the final buzzer sounds. And that was a good example of that. We was able to turn them over a little bit towards the end. One with Halliburton on the sideline, and I was able to get the deflection off of Siakam that just extended the game. And it's not over till it's over. And we found a way to win this game at the very end.
Did you do something, or were you committed to the shot? And also, what did you see when you took the shot?
Yeah, before the inbound, I was just talking to myself. If I get this shot, it's going in. I was just telling myself the whole time, you get it, it's going up and it's going in. And I happened to create some space on that backside, and was able to make a big time play. But we got to be able to move, channel our emotions, move on to the next, and get ready for game two.
Do you feel that as a player when there's good pace and kind of team battling to figure out pace versus half court? How good was the game, and you feel like this is gonna where the series is gonna go?
Yeah, I feel like the Pacers, man, they came out and played extremely well, man. They played with pace, they played with force, and they made it tough on us. They got a lot of baskets in transition, and we just gotta match their intensity. We gotta be the harder playing team. We gotta sprint back, and it's just a different series, and we gotta adjust. We'll be ready to go, but it's good to come out with a win on our home floor.
Three in this game until then. Was there ever any doubt in your mind?
No, I didn't feel like I took a lot of threes. Only took 4 threes, and for the most part, I was just trying to get to the paint for the most part of the game. But down 3, we needed a big shot and big play to extend the game.
And just how big were the bats in this game? Al Horford and Jrue Holiday for you guys?
Yeah, Jrue was fantastic. Jrue was exceptional, man. Shout out to Jrue. Jrue came out and balled, man. He's the reason why we won this game. I think he just was poised. He took advantage of his matchups. He just was so elite, and that is a lot. And he's guarding Halliburton, picking him up, chasing him around. That was special from Jrue Holiday. And now, being able to come out, knock down shots, make some big plays at the rim. Those two guys were great for us tonight.
To kind of get back into it and struggling to get stops, was the fact that you hit that shot and you get into the overtime, you still survived. Was that what kind of like got people locked in to execute in the overtime?
I guess you could say that. I know that we all was thinking like we got another opportunity here after that big shot. Everybody was thinking the game was lost, but when that shot goes in, now we got an opportunity again that gave us a little bit of life. I think that's fair to say. And we found a way to close it in OT. JT had some big baskets. Played well in OT that helped us, push us over the hump.
How good was it for this group? Every year is different. This team to go through what you went through and yet come out with a victory tonight.
I think it's always great to come out with a win, but obviously we got to tighten up in some areas. We're gonna watch the film. I think majority of it was just transition. I think they just, we knew they were gonna be fast. It didn't surprise us, but it's one thing watching it on film and then seeing it in person. They just got out of a dogfight in New York, and it just felt like they were just flying by us, getting easy layups. We got to be better. We got to match their intensity if we want to win this series.
The night that Jaylen had to give you guys that kind of chance to win.
It's simple. Big time players make big time plays. That was a hell of a shot he made. The deflection to give us an opportunity to make that shot. Jrue Holiday played unbelievable tonight on both ends of the floor. D White as well. You know, this was the definition of a team win.
Tonight, the way you played with your teammates, having to get it done, what was the overtime like for you specifically?
It really just felt like we had a second chance, right? We didn't, the end of the third and fourth quarter, we didn't necessarily play well enough where we may have deserved to win, and obviously made some plays at the end. JB gave us a second chance by hitting that shot, and we just talked about it in the huddle, right? We got a second chance. Let's take advantage of it. Let's not mess around and let's figure out a way to win this game.
It seemed like you were focused on just being really physical, slowing things down, and really pushing that advantage. That's what you've kind of done all year. So how has that helped you get through some of the cold shooting that you've had in the playoffs to get to win it again?
I think just mentally understanding that, I've had spurts throughout big games where I didn't hit shots or shoot the ball well. But it's as simple as just, believing that the next one is going in. And I always feel like I'm one make away, from being hot or being in a great rhythm. So taking the right shots, playing within the flow of the game, right, and doing all the other necessary things to, impact the game.
That led to the 3 free throws by Albert. Look, after that, Drew kind of said something to you while he was at the free throw line. I wonder if you remember kind of what he said, and how is it easier for you to shake off the shooting slumps in game now than maybe it was a couple of years ago?
Yeah, that was. I'm so glad we won the game because I would have been sick. That play was some miscommunication, and we just talked about it afterwards. He thought that I was, gonna come off the screen. I thought that they were corralling or, doubling. I thought it was gonna slip. Even still, you don't jump and pass the ball, so that was on me. But we just talked about it for a quick second, and still a lot of time left to try to figure out how to win the game.
With your first close game, what went into it mentally to have the resilience to kind of persevere through chaos in that final stretch?
That's a great way. That shit was chaos. That shit was wild. But just stay present, stay in the moment. As long as that time is still on the clock and the game is within reach, we feel like we have a chance. This core group has been in so many big time games, big time moments. We had a lead and lost it and still won, or been down a lot and figured out a way to win. I've had a lot of crazy endings in this building, so so we, in a weird way, we've been there before, and we always believe in this sense.
And then we're able to follow up with it in game 2. Obviously, this is a crazy game, but how important is it to turn the page and make sure you guys are able to do what you were not able to do in the first couple rounds on Thursday?
Yeah, I think I'll come with the mindset, don't relax. And different circumstances, like first 2 rounds, we won our first game 1 by a wide margin. Maybe human nature played a factor into that. But tonight being a close game, going into overtime, they certainly feel like they probably should have won, and we feel like we can play a lot better. So I'm excited for us to come out and respond. Just do a better job of protecting home court than we have done recently.
Game, you came back with the N1, then you hit the 3. And can you take me through those 2 shots, how you were able to kind of get open for the 3 and then kind of muscle your way for the N1?
Big time players make big time plays. Simple as that.
And you could, you're a big time player, and you've been hearing a lot of criticism this postseason. What is this? This might just prove it for them till game 2, but what does this prove to those who might comment about, what you haven't done this postseason?
Doesn't prove anything. we won a big time game. Series is far from over. We gotta come back and play well enough to win again on Thursday. So I'm not trying to prove anything individually. I know the ultimate goal is to try to win a championship. But one step at a time. This is a big time win tonight, and come back and get ready for Thursday.
It seemed like you guys were down.
For sure, but I also think we always knew we could. Close games, I don't think have ever bothered us. I think that we've always stayed poised, and no matter if it's a win or a loss, we knew that we'd always give ourselves a chance. So again today, down 3 with some seconds left and making a big shot and making big plays after that, we knew we had it in us.
Stay ready to have a night like tonight where you scored 20 points after halftime, and every single one of those points was critical.
I think just continually being aggressive, continually working on my game, continually having the coaches and my teammates in my ear telling me that they're going to need me, and even just knowing, like, especially times during the game, just being aggressive, and no matter what end of the floor it's on. So we'll continue to do that, and we'll see what happens.
3, what did you see, and what type of look did you have in regards to in the corner there?
Saw Jaylen wide open. And sometimes plays like that, it's kind of hard because you got to see both sides simultaneously sometimes. But saw one side and looked the other side, and Jaylen was wide open, so just kind of had to lead him to the corner. And it's a great shot. He pretty much did everything.
How would you describe the battle for tempo in this game, and probably in the series, where obviously some point in time you want to play in the half court and both teams didn't want to get transition?
Yeah, it definitely was a battle, and we know what type of team they are. They're never going to give up, and we've seen that not only during the year, but especially through their playoff run. So I think just trying to be as consistent as possible is on the boards, and trying to stop it in transition. They pass the ball up so well, they move the ball so well, especially off the rebound. That sometimes it gets tough, but something we'll probably go back and look at is transition defense.
Goes so fast, and if you kind of keep up with it, it leads to mistakes. Like, how do you kind of control those mistakes, some of those turnovers that just seem to be simple? Like, how do you kind of control that as the series progresses?
I think a lot of it is concentration, making the right plays. We know that they're going to play fast, and they're going to be very physical, but we are too. So make the right plays, make the right passes, be tough with the ball, and then execute from there. I think being aggressive and kind of finishing your food at the rim and making those layups will slow them down somewhat, just because they have to take the ball out of the rim.
Playing fast ones.
Feel pretty good. We had a break for a while, so I'm all right.
So the break helps.
100%.
When you look at kind of pulling this out, like they have a couple of turnovers late, everybody was kind of like thinking like, okay, it's a game 1 loss, and all of a sudden it flips. What do you take from that? Is that just resilience? Is that, do you sit there and go, whew, we pulled one out
I
here?
think we always knew that there's always a chance. We've seen crazy stuff happen all the time. So I don't think that we think we lost the game until we actually lost the game, and that's part of the reason why we were so resilient, toward the end of the game. Like I said, anything can happen. A couple turnovers, a great shot, great look by JB. Or on the other end, we make a couple of those shots that were wide open, and it could be a completely different game. So just the type of team that's gonna keep on fighting no matter how long and no matter what it takes.
Stay ready to have a night like tonight where you scored 20 points after halftime, and every single one of those points was critical.
I think just continually being aggressive, continually working on my game, continually having the coaches and my teammates in my ear telling me that they're going to need me, and even just knowing, like, especially times during the game, just being aggressive, and no matter what end of the floor it's on. So we'll continue to do that, and we'll see what happens.
Had an indecision. We were maintaining, and I thought D White said a great screen. I thought Jaylen had great balance and great pass, great shot. So it was just well executed play. by the guys. Good situational awareness, situational execution.
Joe, just comment on Drew Holiday's 48 minutes tonight.
Yeah, again, Drew's the kind of guy, first of all, credit to, him and G. White getting all defensive team, but he's the kind of guy that's gonna impact the game in different ways every night. Tonight it was his scoring, his playmaking, and his defense, and a well-rounded game by him. And I thought he, just his poise and his demeanor throughout the game was, instrumental for us. Pretty efficient. I think he just missed some good looks, some open ones. But I thought he just plays with a level of poise and a level of comfort knowing that the next one's got a chance to go. And so he got the exact same shot that he got down 3, and then he made that one. So just staying with it, man. Like, you just can't have any expectations about how it's supposed to go. You miss a layup, you miss a 3, you give up something, like, it just doesn't matter. And I thought our guys had that kind of mindset, and credit to him for just changing the frequency. He was handling a little bit, then he was screening, spacing, got some catch and shoot shots. So I thought it was just a well-executed game by the guys in the fourth quarter.
And he had to, like, immediately the run. What was he doing to be so effective when he was on the floor?
I mean, I think the other guys played a part in that as well. But for the most part, I thought his shot selection was good. I thought the ability to either handle and screen got us open looks, for whether it was himself or others. And I thought for the most part he competed defensively. But have to see what the lineups are, but I'm sure other guys played a part in that. Jaylen shot, rebounding, defense. So I think it was on everybody.
Against this team, and then especially the way that Tatum was able to kind of slow things down to be physical at the end, how do you feel that you're able to find control of those?
Yeah, I think you have to find that balance. Like there's points to be had with playing with pace, playing fast, and so there's that balance. And I thought we handled it well in the first half. I thought in the second half we got to pick and choose your spots. Everything just depends on the time we score the game. Situational basketball, like we didn't get organized at the end of the quarter, got an illegal screen, and gave them the last possession of a shot. Like just the small stuff like that, but. For the most part, I thought we played with a level of poise. I thought our rim reads were good. 15 turnovers. I think two of those were illegal screens, and some of them were at the rim. So you're just gonna have to find that balance. There's times where you're gonna have to play fast with them, and there's times where you have to execute.
13. Obviously, they're gonna make their runs as well. But what could you have done in those spots to kind of maybe hold off and minimize their runs?
Yeah. I don't expect that it's a really hard thing to do with this pace that they play with, the speed that they play with, and the variance that they have. And so you just continue to not to expect that you're going to build on it. You may build on it, you may not. And so I think just playing without the expectation of like, okay, it's 13 now, let's see what happens, right? So I think the guys did a good job of just playing through it. I have to go back and watch. I'm sure there's a couple times we had live ball turnovers. I'm sure we may have not closed out to a 3-point shooter. I think I remember it was 10. Turner got an open one, which got it to 7, like 47-70 or something like that. So there's always going to be, they're going to test your discipline every single possession, whether you're 5, whether you're up 25. And so I think at the end of the day, it's like you shouldn't even really look at the scoreboard.